Hi, I'm Gary Jenkins, and welcome to the beauty of oil painting. Yay! Today I'm going to show you how to do a painting with just one rose and the power that just one flower can have in a painting. Let's take a look at the painting. Whoa, there it is. Now we just have one flower up here, but look at how that flower, which is the lightest value in the painting, dominates the painting. Even though we have leaves and other stuff in there, that rose will not be denied. You must look at the rose because that's the lightest value and your eye will go right to it. The leaves are just the supporting actors around it and the buds. On one of our trips to Europe, this was just great. We went to visit a brush company in Germany. And here we are arriving at the brush company, being met by Daniel Zahn, who is the owner of the brush company located in Germany. They were established in 1909. Here we are testing brushes. This took most of the day to make sure the best quality brushes for our technique is manufactured. There's Catherine testing out the brushes. And here we are. This was a fun day. Kathy and I are watching one of the workers assembling a brush. Each brush, would you believe each brush is made by hand? And it takes 4 or 5 years to become a master brush maker. Even when I was there, they were asking me if I would like to try and make a brush. And I said, no way, we would have hair all over the place. Whew. But it was just great, and Kathy and I are looking forward to going back and visiting the brush company again. What are we doing today? Look at this canvas up here. I have an acrylic background. You know, on this series, on many of the shows, I have acrylics backgrounds already started. The acrylic, of course, is dry, and I have, some linseed thin coat over the surface. This is just some black and looks like sienna, cad red light. Leave some brush strokes showing so we get some energy into the painting. Let's come down to the palette and let's get some stuff going. Foliage green dark. Let's take that with a little sienna to warm her up. And we're going to come up here in the dark area and just get something going. This is just to fill the area in. And it wets the canvas down so that we can get some lighter leaves on top. We're going to come down here, foliage green light. And this will just kind of leave, kind of do stuff. Leave some brush strokes showing. We're just kind of going to have the illusion that there's something in the dark area. We don't want the eye to stay there because if we start bringing leaves out, the eye will go right there and say, okay, what kind of leaf is that? And what's going on? And we don't want that to happen. Sometimes you can even take your blending brush and go in and throw that stuff out of focus. That stuff being our brush strokes. Now we're going to come down. Let's take some pink. Petal pink, beautiful, warm pink. Let's take some orange mixed just on the side of the pink. Then we're going to take some white. I always mix with the brush. I don't know why. It's just the way I've been doing it all these years. I'm going to take, these are synthetic, so they come to a nice chisel. So we're going to come in here with a nice stem. Coming down, and it's going to turn, and it's going to come up, and we're going to twist because there's going to be a bud there. And maybe we'll start here and come around, and maybe it's going to cross over, and we're going to twist, and there'll be another bud there. Look at the nice curve. No straight lines, guys. Let's not have any of that stuff. We want everything kind of curving. Look at. Now, if you want to curve, a stem, instead of swooping around, though you can swoop in some places, but to strengthen a stem, you'll have angular strokes like this, and then it comes out. So you see the angle? Doom, 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 doom. If you kind of curve everything, it kind of gets a little snaky. You can have a few here and there, but don't get too curvy with it. Gets too decorative looking. Let's take our greens And we want to lose that stem. Yes, yes. Lose it into the dark. So we're going to get some mystery. And as that stem comes out, I'm going to clean my brush off in my odorless thinner, and as that stem comes out, we're going to take some pink, white, and I want it right in here. Let's get that lighter. See it? And a little shot. Doing, doing. Yes. So that the light is concentrating right in that area. Let's come down and pick up some foliage green light. Let's get, and some dark. Foliage green dark, foliage green light. Let's get some leaves going. Maybe we have a little stem. And then we're going to hook a leaf, and you wiggle color and angle towards the back. Yes. And there's a leaf. And you're going, is it that easy? And I say, yes, it is. Another one here, and you angle towards the back. And there's another one. And we'll just get all of these in that we can, at least most of them. Now, we don't want to highlight leaves as you go along, because if you do it that way, you have a tendency to highlight too much. But if we only highlight them later, after we have most of the leaves in, you're in more control of your lights. Now, another one. Notice I have a lot of these leaves now are going to be facing up. Yeah, another one here. So on the bottom, they will slowly turn. Here we have them up. And as we come down, they will slowly turn down. So this gives us action and gives us movement in the painting. Another one here. And our little buds will just be floating around. Let's take some mauve, beautiful mauve with our rich dark green. Maybe we'll go over that one and get it a little bit darker. And this one a little bit darker. So we vary our tones and our color. Coming up, some of the leaves you're not going to be able to see because they're just kind of there. Yes, don't show everything. I keep telling everybody, get some mystery in your paintings. Let's come on over here. Sometimes you'll just wiggle color in and then get back out. And you notice again that I'm working over the whole painting. I'm not just staying in one spot. This way we get the whole thing going so we can stand back and in a little bit we can say, oh, let's highlight this leaf and let's highlight that leaf. Okay, and here's another one here. Get this corner taken care of. Anytime you're over near the corner of a painting, you don't really want a lot going on. It's just because the eye will be pulled right off of the painting. And if you're hanging in a show, the people will look at your painting and they'll be pulled right off your painting onto somebody else's and they'll buy that one. So let's keep them inside of your painting, and they go round and round and round and round. And then they reach for their checkbook and they buy your painting. Yes, not the one next to it. Let's get that rose in. Whew. Again, I'm using some odorless thinner. I have a big jar of it here. And I have a little container of medium. So into my jar, I'm going to clean off that brush. And we're going to come down to the palette and pick up yellow ochre. And we're going to use this yellow ochre, remember the canvas, with the alizarin, with the acrylic background. It's dry, but I have some medium, which is helping my paint to flow. Now, I'm only concerned with the outside edge. I'm just picking up a little more ochre. I'm only concerned about the outside edge. I really don't care what's happening inside. But now, it's best for you guys, if you can, to work as much as you can from real flowers. If you can't work from real flowers, you can work from silk or artificial flowers. And today, they make these silk flowers so beautiful. The anatomy is almost perfect to the real thing that you could work from. And here's a little sienna. This will establish the center. Now, something strange. I'm going to get a little more sienna. Maybe a touch of green. something strange is happening. Can you see, what did I do? I blocked the flower in. Maybe back here a little dark. I blocked the flower in. And look at how, without picking any petals out, how this resembles the rose already. Now you must have it looking pretty close to the rose outline, because if you don't, it ain't gonna work no matter what you do inside. So make sure the outside contour comes as close. It doesn't have to be perfect, but comes as close as you can. Let's see. Now we're going to take a little white, little yellow, mostly white, very dry, no medium, and we're going to pick on our big petal. Now you're going to find that most of your strokes are going to head towards one point, towards the back. Watch how that works. Do you see it? See? See it? And kind of. Now, as I stroke it towards the back, I let off, hardly any pressure. Now, if you have trouble with that pressure, find a brush that's, a blending brush that's clean. Back here, just hit it with your blending brush. Very lightly, guys. And let's pick up another, as we turn to the side, we pick out a petal there, a petal here, working very dry. I'm going to take off most of the paint off my brush now, or you could hit it on your towel, because I just want a hint, there it is, just a hint of paint on the brush to get these, what they call the middle tones. You see how there's hardly any paint on there. So I'm painting without paint, which is kind of neat. Now we're going to come back down. I'm going to put a little ochre with my white so it's not so white. And come up here. Maybe we have another, it comes along and tucks behind. And then it comes out up here and wraps. Oh, look at that one. It wraps right around. And another one back here. Oh, look at that color against the red. I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. Look at it coming out. And let the red show through in spots. People love these paintings because they're translucent. You can almost see through the petal. Here's some side shots coming in because these petals are just sort of hanging down. And maybe another one here, you see? And if you want to blend it in, take your blender and soften it in. Actually, you could hit all through there, but don't hit too much or it'll go bye-bye. Sometimes you do blend too much and it does go bye-bye. And if that happens, you just go put it back in. Now let me show you how. We have a petal coming down. We're going to flip a petal over, coming down. And let's see how that'll work. Now, we have a petal that's going to be flipping over. Now we're going to come back and come back into it like this. See? And pull it up. So we get that edge flipping. Then we're going to take ochre. Maybe we'll take a little mauve, kind of make it a little bit darker. Get a little dark back in here. See? Maybe we'll just pull that edge out. Get a little fancy here. But don't get too carried away with all this fancy stuff, guys. Otherwise, you'll look at your rose and all you'll see is a bunch of little flipped over petals. And here's another edge coming up, another petal. Maybe there's a little tip coming out. See it? See it? Oh, look at that. We got something. Oh, that was the tip of a bud. Sometimes when you're doing your lay-ins, little things happen. We'll get rid of that. I'm going to come in here with another petal. See how you can come back in with another petal? See? So we get that layered look. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring our petals out a little bit more in here. Just a shot. So that looks like it's much fuller. Yes, now we're cooking. If we wanted to, and this wasn't in the painting, but we might want to take a little of our pink and white. And let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see? Look at the pink. It looks so good. Let's put another. Now, I didn't plan on doing this. But sometimes that little voice that talks to you says, try this, try that. Most of the time it's right. But sometimes it's wrong. And we never know when it's right and it's wrong. But 90% of the time it's okay. A little touch in here. A touch in there. Okay, let's come up here and let's go for our leaves. We're going to take a little foliage green light in yellow. And now remember I was talking about controlling our highlights. We are going to go in and pick a light out of there. Maybe that's not light enough. We'll take a little more yellow. And highlight it. Oh yeah, well, there it is. We wanted highlights, we got them now. And maybe, I want a bright one right in here, coming in. Yes. I want to come in here with another bright one in here to add more depth. Yes. Now, you see how we're putting those light leaves in and how it pushes back. This is yellow and green and touch of white. How it pushes back the leaves underneath. And we'll highlight some of these others, but not as much. There. We have some little buds floating around, and we'll get some of those going. Remember that little tip that was sticking out there? We got some really strange stuff up in there, left over from our sketching. So let's just get rid of that, and put some leaves back in there. Maybe our little wiggle leaves will be nice to put in, coming out here. Oh, look at that. Look at that against the red. Love those vignette shapes that are dark. Maybe, where else do we have some? Maybe some down in here. Yeah. Boom, boom. And I think we have let's put a leaf in there. There's a bud in there. We'll see if we have time for it or not. Okay, let's clean our brush off and let's get some buds going on the top. Yeah. And we're going to get up in here. Now we're going to take and switch brushes. We're going to pick up a filbert brush. Come on down. Let's pick up a little touch of mauve and white. And we're going to get a bud right here, round belly, a little ragged top. Round belly, little ragged top. And maybe we'll take some mauve and we'll darken up one side of those buds. Leave some stroke showing. And clean it up a little, but not much of the bud's going to show because we're going to take our dark green, foliage green dark and foliage green light, and we'll cover up most of the bud. See? And maybe those stems are a little light. What do you think? We're going to come in here and darken up just a little there. Yes, that's better. And then we'll come in, put a little greenery in here, and here, and here, and darken that up a little bit so that it doesn't scream and holler at us. We have several other little buds, pink and white. Right down here we have a bud, another bud here. Oh, I see a little bud sneaking around this way, right on top of that leaf. And then we'll take and put a stem coming down from here to this bud. Some buds are just kind of there. Don't get in there and nag your buds. Nag it. Just put it in and leave it alone. Here's another one. You see how cool that is? Now, what are we doing? Let's highlight a few more of our leaves because it's not looking too shabby. Every painting turns out different, you guys. You can't paint the same thing exactly. Who wants to anyway? And we have another highlight in there. And let's get something going on the top. Maybe another leaf. Now you could put these little put your brush down and run and come to the chisel edge, down and chisel edge, down. It's just little fillers. In the dark area, a little happening, but not too much. Well, okay, how we doing? Pretty good. We have, oh, that stem kind of looks a little weird, just hanging around. So maybe we want to just darken that up a little so it doesn't stand out quite so much there. So it kind of gets lost. Maybe we'll bring that stem out this way and that way. It's sort of what we're doing is we're framing the rose. Inside the rose, let's take a little yellow, a touch of orange. Yellow and a touch of orange way inside. Because we have these little dots, you see, that the bees love. On some of my paintings that I do for you, I forget to put those little dots in the middle. Oh boy, and I get finished with the painting and I go, oh, where's the stuff the bees love? Ooh. It might have gotten a little pointy on the bottom. So, let's take ochre and white. And maybe we'll kind of get a little something happening here. Yeah. But it kind of looks cool with a little bit of that stuff hanging down. It gives it more kind of a natural look coming out of here. Maybe we could take our white and our yellow, if I can find any in here. White and yellow. And highlight. Now watch, here's a little trick. I'm going to show you a little trick. You're going to put your brush down. Instead of just stroking, you put your brush down and you push back and then down. Push back and then down. Push back. You see what it does? It gives a little buildup of paint on the edges, which accents that petal and brings it out from the others. Now, a little of this accenting goes a long way, guys, so don't do it on every petal, but just where you think you want to bring a petal out. Push back and then forward. Remember, if it gets too strokey, you can always use your blending brush. Let's back up and let's take a look at the whole painting. How are we doing? See, now when we're back, we can see the rose, our prima donna rose, and we can see all our leaves. I do see that we do have a bud coming out here. And we'll take our white and our ochre. We don't want this bud to be too bright. So we're going to come in. Ooh, I say not too bright. There it is, guys. So we'll knock it down. We'll put a little mauve with it just to knock her down a little. Yeah. And then we'll put a little white with it. Kind of a mauve-y color. It's kind of cool. Then we'll put our little hood on top. See? And sometimes you can really pull these edges out to really make it reach out and gives it more of a dramatic look. Usually when the stem comes in underneath, you'll find it gets a little bit darker. Now that stem, that little bud might look a little weird just hanging around by itself. So let's kind of bring a little of that green color up so it has a little company. How are we doing up here? Don't you love the red back there? It's popping. Remember when you do your paintings at home, guys, don't be boring. Let's get some color in there. This is Cad Red Light. Let's punch it up even more. Make people look at our painting. Oh, yes. I know. You're going, can you do that? I say, yes, you can. This is what people love. Just hit it. not too much. Well, there you are. Let's back up, see the whole painting. Oh, let's look at the other painting, the one I'm working from. Can we do that? And there we are. Now you can see there's a lot more in there. Have a lot more highlights and maybe a little more highlighting on the buds. But you guys, this will be in the book for you to work from. So you'll have it right in front of you all the time. Well, thanks for watching. You know, I paint a lot of roses because I love them. So don't forget out there to stop and smell the roses along the way, and I'll see you next time.